Hello everyone, let's continue our call option analysis. In this video, we analyze call option from seller perspective. The same option contract we have before and the same scenario table. Before doing the math, I have to remind you that first of all, for seller, the premium is a revenue or cash inflow. You always have to answer the questions, will the option be exercised or not? Okay, now we can do the math. So in the first scenario, at the expiration date, the spot rate for pound is 1.20. Remember that the contract had the exercise price of 1.4. However, first of all, let's put the premium in place. Okay. Now, the premium is positive cash inflow, so for seller, it is always 1.2. Now, let's move on to the second part. Will the option be exercised? According to our previous analysis for buyer, okay, you know that in the first situation, the option will not be exercised by the buyer, right? Because the buyer can buy in the market for 1.20 instead of paying 1.4 according to the option. So in this case, no exercise, right? Yeah. And therefore, the seller can keep all of the premium. Thus, the total profit per contract will be the premium times the size of the contract, which is 31,250. That's a good deal, right? So the total here, the total profit. Similarly, in a second situation, when the spot rate at the expiration date equal to the exercise price, we know that first of all the premium is always the revenue. When the two prices are the same, the buyer will not exercise, and therefore here will be the total profit for the option seller. Right? Now, next, let's look at the last scenario. In this case, first of all, let me put the premium in place. Now, will the option be exercised? The answer is yes, the buyer will exercise the option in this case because the buyer only have to pay 1.4 instead of the higher market price of 1.450. Now, from seller perspective, what does this mean? It means that the seller will deliver pound and receive $1.4 from the option holder, right? So the seller receive 1.40, right? You can imagine that in order to get a pound to deliver to the holder, the option holder, the seller have to pay the market price of 1.450. Therefore, the 1.450 is the cash outflow or the cost. Okay. Now, in this case, again, let's review it. Premium is cash inflow. Exercise price is what the option holder pays the seller, so it is inflow. The seller have to get the pound in the market, and therefore the cost will be 1.450. So now putting everything together, and here we go. The total cost, the total loss for the seller is 0.038. If you remember what I did before for the buyer, the profit for the buyer in this case is 3.8 cents, and it is exactly the loss for seller. It is zero-sum game, okay? If you make money, it is coming from my pocket. So in this case, it is nearly 0.038. And yes, you can easily get the total loss for the whole contract, which means that loss per unit times 31,250. Okay? Yeah. So you can make the comparison between the buyer slide and the seller slide. You will see that the loss for one side will be the profit for the other side. Now finally, we look at that situation where the spot rate turned out to be 1.01. Okay. In this case, first of all, premium is cash inflow, the profit, right? Like we analyzed the situation before, the buyer will exercise the option contract in that situation because they can buy for only 1.4 instead of paying 1.401. Okay, so again, when the buyer exercise, buyer will pay seller 1.4. So 1.4 will be the cash inflow, and the buyer have to buy pound from the market, which is 1.401. So this will be the cost. Now summing all those numbers up, you will find the profit or loss. Okay, and in this case you see here the same thing. The seller make 1.1 cent and the loss for the buyer is 1.1 cent from the previous video. Okay, so again it is zero sum game. So okay, so the seller make money in that situation. It is 1.1 cent per pound, and here is whole contract. You multiply it with 31,250. Okay, so we are done with the call option. Please be careful with the premium. It will be negative in one side and positive on the other side. And second, most importantly, you have to answer the question, will the option be exercised or not? Okay, so thank you.